55 thousandths of a second. That's how close Ryan Blaney came to winning at Bristol Sunday. Blink, and you'd miss the gap between joy and absolute heartbreak. This was the Food City 500 on the 12th of April, 2026, and Blaney was the guy everyone was watching all day long. He rolled into Bristol Motor Speedway, known as Thunder Valley, and grabbed the pole position in his number 12 Team Penske Ford. From the second the green flag waved, Blaney looked like a man on a mission. He led the first 43 laps before Kyle Larson snuck by him. But don't let that fool you. Blaney stayed up front pretty much all day, leading 190 laps total. That's a huge number at a track like Bristol, where passing isn't easy and mistakes happen in the blink of an eye. Now, it wasn't a boring race by any stretch. Right from the start, Ross Chastain made a wild move, jumping from 6th place all the way up to 2nd on the very first lap. Then Christopher Bell started climbing the ladder, moving up 11 spots to get into 3rd by lap 60. This thing was shaping up to be a classic Bristol shootout. Kyle Larson, though, was a monster all afternoon. He won Stage 1, with Bell, Blaney, Chase Briscoe, and Josh Berry right behind him. Then Larson did it again, winning Stage 2 as well. That's called sweeping the stages, and it's really hard to do. By the end of the day, Larson had led a race-high 284 of the 505 laps. He was flat-out fast. But while Larson and Blaney were dancing for the lead, trouble was cooking for other drivers. Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell both got caught speeding on pit road, which sent them tumbling back through the field. Bell's day got even worse when he lost control of his number 20 Toyota, smacked the wall coming out of turn 2, and spun down the backstretch. Just like that, one of the fastest cars was done fighting for the win. Then there was the scary moment on lap 160. Alex Bowman was finally back in the car after missing 4 straight races because of vertigo. Vertigo is a condition where everything feels like it's spinning, and you can't drive a race car like that, so Sunday was supposed to be his big return. Instead, Shane Van Gisbergen spun in turn 4 and collected Bowman and John Hunter Nemechek in the wreck. Bowman's car was too torn up to fix, and he finished dead last in 37th place. After the race, a frustrated Bowman admitted the car was off from the very start. "I thought we were okay in practice, but to start the race, we were in trouble," he said. Rough way to come back. Now here's where things got really crazy. With just 24 laps left to go, Chase Elliott spun out and brought out the caution flag. Blaney was leading at the time. Most teams made the smart call and came down pit road for fresh tires. 8 of the 13 lead-lap drivers pitted. But 5 drivers stayed out on their old, worn-down tires, gambling that track position would matter more than grip. One of those gamblers was Ty Gibbs, and Gibbs was not shy about telling his crew chief, Tyler Allen, exactly what he wanted. Over the team radio, Gibbs said, "I don't want to give up track position at all." Allen listened, kept him out, and just like that, Gibbs was in the lead for the restart on lap 486. This set up the best kind of NASCAR chess match. Blaney had 4 fresh tires and lined up 7th. Larson had 2 fresh tires and restarted 6th. Gibbs was out front, but his tires were 95 laps older than Blaney's. On paper, that should have been game over for Gibbs. Fresh rubber at Bristol is supposed to be a cheat code. Blaney went to work. He sliced through the pack and got himself back up to 2nd place. Larson muscled his way to 3rd. The 2 fastest cars of the day were now breathing right down Gibbs's neck, but Gibbs refused to budge from that top lane. He was hanging on for dear life. Then, with just 4 laps to go, everything exploded. Kyle Busch got payback on Riley Herbst for an earlier run-in, spinning him hard enough to bring out the 9th caution of the day. Just like that, the race was heading to overtime, a 2-lap shootout to decide who would take home the trophy. This was the first overtime finish at Bristol since 2015. For Blaney, this was his chance. One final restart, 2 laps, win it or lose it. When the green flag flew, Gibbs grabbed that high line and refused to let go. Blaney was right beside him, fender to fender, lap after lap. They raced side by side through every corner, neither driver giving an inch. Coming out of turn 4 on the very last lap, Blaney threw a crossover move, trying to cut underneath Gibbs and steal the win at the line. But he just couldn't quite get there. Gibbs beat him to the stripe by 0.055 seconds. Let me say that again. because it's almost impossible to believe. 55 thousandths of a second. That's the closest finish Bristol has seen since Rusty Wallace beat Ernie Irvan by about 1 foot way back in April of 1991. 35 years. Kyle Larson ended up third, only 0.229 seconds back. The top three were basically one big blur across the finish line. For Ty Gibbs, this was the moment he had been waiting his whole career for. It was his very first NASCAR Cup Series win, and it came in his 131st career start. He's only the 6th driver ever to grab his first career win at Bristol. The last guy to do that? Hall of Famer Kurt Busch, all the way back in 2002. Gibbs only led 25 laps all day, but they were the only 25 that really mattered. Meanwhile, over in the Team Penske garage, you could feel the disbelief. Blaney drove a nearly perfect race, led for huge chunks of it, and still walked away with nothing but a runner-up trophy. Afterward, you could hear the sting in his voice when he talked to reporters. Gave it my best shot the last restart. Got a good restart. Was close, but just couldn't get it done, Blaney said. He also made sure to shout out his team, adding, "Proud of the effort by all the number 12 Team Penske folks. Gave me a real fast car in qualifying." Got it better through the race. He even admitted that by halfway through the race, he genuinely thought they had the best car on the track. Sometimes, though, the best car doesn't win. Behind the top two, the rest of the top 10 was stacked. Larson took third. Tyler Reddick came home fourth, Chase Briscoe rolled in fifth, and Todd Gilliland grabbed a solid sixth thanks to a smart two-tire call by his crew. Joey Logano finished seventh, followed by Ryan Preece, Denny Hamlin, and Carson Hocevar rounding out the top 10. A couple of big names had rough days. Chase Elliott, who just won at Martinsville the week before, faded all the way back to 22nd after his late spin. William Byron finished 30th, 5 laps down, and is still chasing his first lap led at Bristol in his whole career. So what does this mean for the 2026 championship picture? Tyler Reddick is still the top dog with 386 points and 4 wins already this season, but his cushion is shrinking. His lead over Blaney is now just 62 points. Blaney sits second with 324. Denny Hamlin is third with 300, and Ty Gibbs jumped 7 whole spots up to 4th place after his win, sitting on 281 points. That win also locks Gibbs into the playoffs, which is a massive deal this early in the year. For Blaney, this one is going to sting for a while. He did almost everything right. He qualified first. He led 190 laps. He had the fastest car for most of the afternoon. But at Bristol, on old tires, Ty Gibbs played the perfect hand, and 0.055 seconds was all it took to turn Blaney's dream day into one of the toughest losses of his career.